Folks, welcome. Good to have you with us. Jim, let me start with you. I don't mean
Thank
to
you.
editorialize here, but this feels to me like a lot of political theater and a manufactured crisis that could have easily been avoided. Am I close to the truth here?
Well, I totally agree with that. This is I think this is, dare I say it, sort of fake news. Not much money has really been put on the table here yet. This skirmishing over the district, where Disney has its theme parks, has very little immediate economic impact. In fact, my understanding is if Florida really succeeded in doing what it wanted, it would have to absorb some costs that Disney is now paying itself. So there's not a huge financial impact on that. But lurking in the background here is the potential for a truly mutually destructive war. And that would start to invoke the tax incentives that Disney has to move employees to Florida. And on the Disney side, Disney could start to pull people out of there. Florida recently offered Disney about $700 million in tax incentives to move 2,000 or so key employees to Florida, including their very famed legendary Imagineers unit. And Disney could threaten to not make those moves, or Florida could in turn threaten to take those incentives away. Now, that's real money, and that's a real economic effect. So far, they have not escalated to that level.
Americus, your reaction to what Jim just said?
Well, I think it's super interesting, Tyler, because I'm not understanding, exactly why this cultural war. I mean, who goes against Mickey Mouse? Who wants to fight Mickey Mouse? I mean, this is a venerable institution. This is a brand built on America and family and all of these wholesome kinds of things. And so the idea that you would want to potentially die on that hill for a little bit of political gain makes absolutely no sense to me. And I think that what we're seeing here is kind of the idea that folks are afraid to back down a little bit. And so, it's unfortunate because, as Jim is saying, there aren't any real economic issue, costs, et cetera, happening as of yet, but there's serious damage being done to an institution that's incredibly popular. Disney is celebrating its 100th year birthday, I believe, in October 16th of this year. And so you're not going to make people not like Disney. You're not going to make people stop going to Disney.
Let me just jump in here for a moment. Disney is not completely innocent in this regard. I mean, if DeSantis was totally off base with this, we wouldn't be this far into the fight. A lot of people perceive the company as being a little bit arrogant, kind of setting its own cultural course, if you will, and trying to kind of be its own entity in Florida without a lot of respect for the broader fallout or the climate around it. So, and this is a big, interesting part of what Bob Iger's return is about. When he left the company after largely setting it on this course, things went further downhill and employees were very dissatisfied with the following ownership. He's come back. People internally are thrilled about that. They've really tried to stand up here and kind of, end this standoff with the governor, but they're not really signaling that they're kind of hardening their position in some ways and digging in their heels as well. Both parties here seem to just be unwilling to come to some kind of compromise, Julia.
Kelly, I think you're overlooking the fact that this is a tax district, and Disney not only pays over $1.1 billion in state and local taxes, and that was the amount it paid last year, but this particular thing we're talking about is a tax district that the state of Florida established so they didn't have to be responsible for picking up Disney's trash. This enables Disney to deal with things like trash collection and like the plumbing. So that's not something that's managed by the state of Florida. Logistically, this saves the state of Florida money. So I think what you're seeing here, and just what I want to clarify, is there's this logistical tax situation where Disney has managed its own property like its own mini government, because therefore it can have its own fire department, which is something that's important for something like a theme park. But as a result, this has become a political issue for the governor because he was upset about some of the cultural issues that Bob Iger has taken a stand on. So what really happened here is you have the governor and his so-called Don't Say Gay bill, that sort of political issue becoming a logistical issue for Disney, in that they've taken issue with the way Disney manages this tax district, which is really a logistical thing.
But
so
Julia,
it's almost like these two
that
conversations have collided.